This is the January 2024 CSEC Mathematics past paper. We'll just take a quick look at the paper here. You have space where you fill in your information, right? Your name, date of birth, school, center number, and so on and so forth. And you have the instructions, right? Now, you have two sections, section 1 and 2. 7 questions in section 1, 3 in section 2. You must answer all questions. So you have a total of 7 plus 3, 10 questions, all right? Now, the amount of time is 2 hours and 40 minutes. Now, the timing is very important. Let's look at it. 2 hours and 40 minutes. 2 hours is the same as 120 minutes. Plus you have 40 minutes more. So that's 160 minutes total. So you have an average of 16 minutes per question because it's 10 questions. 160 divided by 10. But what I advise you to do is to read over and look at the questions for the first 10 minutes of the exam, right? And you could say look at question 10, just get a glance at it, quickly look it over, then 9, then 8, and so on and so forth. Your, what they call it, subconscious, having seen these questions, would be somewhat figuring out these questions at the back of your mind, right? That's a theory which seems to work well. So start looking from the last questions towards the first question for the first 10 minutes. Now, here, that means that you would have 10 minutes of looking over, so 150 minutes left, which is 15 minutes per question on average. Now, suppose, for example, the exam starts at 9 a.m. You read over and until 9:10 a.m. At 9:10 a.m., you start question 1. You could give yourself, say, 10 minutes for question 1. So from 9:10 to 9:20, what you should do, give yourself 10 minutes to do question 1. Once you see the 10 minutes up, even if you don't finish question 1, you still move on. Leave a space to come back to finish off question 1 later, provided that you have enough time left over, and you move to question 2. Right? So at 9:20, you start question 2 until 9:30. Then as you move on, the question get harder, so you can give yourself 15 minutes for each of the other questions. So at 9:45, between 9:30 and 9:45, you do question 3. So again, if you do question 3A, question 3B, and so on, and there's a question 3C, and you see 9:45 comes, you leave a space, leave out the space for question 3C and move on to question 4 once you see 9:45 comes. Don't waste time struggling on a question that you're having a difficulty with because you don't have all day. The time is limited. It doesn't make sense for you to be wasting time on a question that you cannot do. Then time runs out on you. Why? Because of that waste of time. When there were other questions later on in the paper that you could have done if only you had moved on and not get stuck and wasted time, right? You lost valuable marks. Sometimes when people fail a subject like maths, it's not because they don't know the maths. It's because they do not have or apply a proper examination strategy, right? So, question 3, between 9:30 to 9:45. Then, between 9:45 and 10 o'clock, that's question 4. 10 to 10:15, question 5. 10:15 to 10:30, question 6. Then, between 10:30 and 10:45, question 7. Between 10:45 and 11 o'clock, question 8. Once 11 o'clock comes, you move on. Between 11 and 11:15, question 9. And then from 11:15 to 11:30, you do question 10. You keep working, keep moving, don't stop. Now, from 2 hours and 40 minutes, from 9 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, and 40, the time would run out at 11:40. So you have this 10-minute gap between 10:30 and between 11:30 and 11:40 to go back and finish up those parts of the questions that you did not finish. All right? Now, here. So don't let time run out on you unnecessarily. Here, they say to answer all questions, write in the space provided. Numbers not exact. Should be correct to 3 significant figures around decimal place for angles in degrees unless a different accuracy is specified. Do not write in the margins. The margins, alright, you have some margins there on the paper. Not to write in them. You have a list of formula. Oh, all working must be clearly shown. Show all working. Don't take any shortcut. Show everything that you do. All working. Alright? You get marks for working. A list of formula is provided. So you have the formula. List of formula here. On page 4. If you need to rewrite any answer and there's not enough space to do so in the original page, use the extra pages at the back of the booklet. And if you use extra pages, write the question number clearly and the part of the answer as well. Alright? The part of the question that you're answering. Alright. And it says all diagrams in this booklet are not drawn to scale unless otherwise stated. So you have your formula sheet. Now let's just glance at the questions. Question 1, as usual, it's a decimal and fraction. You have ratio as well. Okay. Ratio and proportion there. And you have a little consumer arithmetic. Okay. Then question 2, algebraic fractions. We will do some simplification. Okay. And you have some amount of geometry and trigonometry here. Question 3, construction. You must make sure you carry your ruler, protractor, pair of compasses, okay, your pencil to do your construction. Then you have a little trigonometry. We'll do some calculation there. This you have vectors transformation. All right. Then question 4 is on functions. So I saw composite functions, inverse functions. Okay. Question 5, statistics. All right. Yes, you have your cumulative frequency curve to plot. Question 6, measurements. You're going to do some, what is it, calculation involving radius, all right, a hemisphere and a cylinder. All right. Then you have some amount of trigonometry with a circle theorem here. All right. Let's see what else you have. Okay, patterns and sequences. So you're going to fill out that page with the patterns that you generate. Section 2. This is some amount of geometry. What else do you have? So you have geometric calculation and angles. Then this is completing the square. You write in the form a x plus h squared plus k. And this is some amount of graph. We talk about axis of symmetry. It's the graph of a quadratic equation. So you're going to have a parabola there. And we talk about the axis of symmetry. Question 9, circle theorem. All right. What else you have here? This is trigonometry. Looks three-dimensional. They give three-dimensional geometry or trigonometry in the January papers. All right. Some trigonometric calculation here as well. Angle of elevation and bearings. Question 10, vectors. All right. And matrices. End of test. And then you have your extra papers that you can write on. So in the next video, we'll start out with the solutions to question 1.